We all know that technology is having an effect on us, but do we really know the extent of it? That's the truth. Honestly, in today's society, we are absolutely ruled by electronics. We live with electronics. We sleep next to electronics. They even measure our sleep sometimes. They measure our walk. They are everywhere. There is no way to really escape the influence of the internet and of technology on our lives anymore. Some people feel like it's invaded ordinary life. Other people are like, well, we have to embrace this new age of technology and even embrace, for example, things that are a little bit radical like AI and things like that, which are just really fast and complex changes to our day-to-day lives now. And all these changes are coming on so fast that I don't think we all have time to actually realize what it's doing to us and to our brains, especially in the next generation. And that is why I am so absolutely thrilled and excited to be reacting to PragerU's The Void, which is a new mini documentary that they have released on the effect that screens are having on kids and teens today. I am so passionate about this, and so I am so absolutely thrilled to be watching this for the first time. I'm going to be reacting to this. I'm so excited, truly, because this is something I'm super passionate about. I have seen the decline of how our thinking has now been diverted to technology and to even AI, where we don't even know how to socially interact. And what is this doing to our brains? I am so excited to see what their take is going to be on this subject and what experts in the field are actually discovering about the effects of technology on kids and teens today. And hopefully they'll give some solutions for how we can actually make this better and help the next generation adapt to this in a more healthy way, because frankly, I don't think we're doing as well as we could. And this is not just because I think books are amazing and that we should replace screen time with books, which I do think in general we would be much better if we replaced certain bits of screen time with books. Like, I'm not saying eliminate technology completely, because it is a necessary thing and there's no way of avoiding it. If we try to live under a rock, we're not going to be accomplishing anything. The internet can be both a blessing and a curse. Technology can be both a blessing and a curse. It's really about how you use it. And so that is why I'm going to be watching The Void for the first time and reacting to this. But if you don't know me, hi, my name is Shira Rodriguez, and I'm the girl behind Her Reading Life podcast, where I help you find life-changing books and write life-changing stories. I am so excited to be able to have this platform where I can actually share with you guys some of the things that have changed my life and that I hope will change yours. And I'm definitely hoping that this is one of those things that will be an absolute life changer. Little known fact about me, I'm actually a member of Prager Force. This is actually a group that they have created, PragerU has created, to help young people and teens and college students to be able to stand up for their beliefs, for their convictions. And it's just a group where you can find a community of like-minded conservatives and really be able to change the world through the power of community and through thought leaders. You get to meet other conservatives, but not only that, you also get to attend events that they plan live, where they get to have Q&As and where you get to learn from experts and new thought leaders in the field. It's really wonderful. And if you are interested in joining, I've included the link below. Speaking of, before we start, be sure to click the links in the show notes below or in the description, whether you're on YouTube or Spotify, where you can pre-order the Novelist in November anthology, which is a collection of 11 short stories that are beautifully fallish and autumnal. It's releasing in November, and out of these 11 short stories, one of these is actually mine, and I'm so incredibly excited to be working with Wild Blue Wonder Press to be bringing you this book. You can actually pre-order it now and get so many goodies, including an audiobook narration, which I'm going to be reading of my short story, And these are all exclusive to the pre-order. If you're enjoying this, also check out my Instagram where I share a little bit more about my daily life as a writer and some quick book thoughts. So like if you enjoy book reviews, I'm going to be giving a lot of that. I also share a lot of inspiring thoughts and aesthetic reels. So if that's your thing, definitely follow me there. And if you want to listen to this on the go, definitely listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any of your favorite podcast platforms. This podcast is going to be available right there. And if you're enjoying this video content, please subscribe and ring the bell so that you never miss a single episode. Okay, I am so excited to actually dive into this. So as a PragerU member, they sent me the video, which you can actually watch for free. So I will be including the link, like I said before, in the description below. So I'm going to be listening to this and tuning in now. Okay. Oh, that's so loud. Okay, that was so loud. I didn't lower the volume. Okay, that was so loud. Hopefully. Oh, this looks so good. Okay. I was just testing out to see if I could actually, because this is the first time I do these reaction things. So I'm going to put on my glasses because I haven't had my glasses all day. And so my eyes are like, what are you doing to me? So we're going to work with this. Okay. Let's start the movie. Here we go.
There's an odd paradox happening, which is that Gen Z has objectively a world that is more developed than ever before, perhaps even better quality of living than anyone in human history, and yet the rates of depression have increased by 50% in the last decade.
Oh, wow.
On a growing youth mental health crisis, where the depression and anxiety in young people have doubled worldwide.
ER visits for suspected attempts of self-harm have increased by over 50%.
People are lonelier than they've ever been before. They're struggling with making friends and finding partners.
Self-harm, suicide rates, every measurable negative impact on our mental health that you could possibly think of has taken place.
The more we have, the more prosperous we become, the safer things are, the easier life is. The more people are becoming suicidal.
I don't really see a way out of this depression.
Like genuinely hard to admit that you're not doing well.
And we are facing down the first generation ever that on average is doing significantly worse than their parents.
So we need to be asking questions about, wait, what is going on in our society? What is going on in our culture?
We have a generation that outwardly appears to be having an awful lot of fun, and yet the mental health outcomes that we're hearing from them seem to be terrible. What's happening here?
This is just making me cry. Like literally. It's really well done, by the way.
It's
Wait,
time
is
to
that
change your
Rafael
strategy.
Ruggiero?
I've tried.
Oh my word! I think that's Rafael
How about the
Ruggiero.
one where you
Ruggiero.
stop
I
playing
don't know.
video games and hang out with your girlfriend?
In a world where you can Uber Eats a fantastic meal while you Netflix a Oscar-winning documentary on a couch you Amazon Prime to your house, a lot of the difficulties and challenges that previously would have faced have been snowplowed out of the way. And it means that when people do come face to face with challenges, naturally, they're less robust. They are less experienced with dealing with them, and they don't see them as a part and parcel of life. They see them as an aberration or some anomaly. And what we've created is almost an epidemic of fragility.
Oh my goodness. So they were just saying, and this is a 3-minute point about, haha, I just stopped it. I haven't even gone too far, but oh my goodness, it's so true. He's talking about fragility of a culture. He just talked about how in this world where we can bring everything, we have no problems with anything. The typical things that you would deal with in life, where you're like, oh, okay, I have to do things in the physical world. You know, we don't have to deal with that anymore. Everything is Amazon primed to us. We don't even have to drive anywhere to get our food. We don't have to get anything. These problems of life, these basic problems of life are even solved for us. And we live in a country where we don't even have to worry about food, like, or money or things like that. We're not even used to the idea of poverty, like starving poverty. We use the phrase, think about it. We use the phrase, I'm starving. Do we really know what it means to be starving? And this is not because I'm an advocate of, you know, making society worse or anything so that we know the impact. But what I'm saying is that we've become such a fragile culture. It's so true what they're saying. And I've actually thought later there's another guy that he's talking right now, and he was saying that all these people are like, I have PTSD, I have OCD. They're identifying into these disorders, and it's so true. I've been hearing so many people say, I have this mental disorder, and I have wondered whether we are not thinking about it so much or feeling the need to be like everybody else and diagnose a mental condition. I'm not saying, this is not to say that these mental conditions don't exist, but do we actually have a reason for which we would be able to say, yes, I was traumatized through this and this and this. And I see how trauma, like, I understand that trauma can be anything, really, especially at the childhood age where everything is larger than life, and because the conscious mind hasn't really developed that much, everything is received and sucked in. And again, because of the crazy rate of divorce, I'm just ranting off all these problems. Like, because of society's degraded state, we're facing all these problems that we really shouldn't be. But it is really sad to see the fragility of our culture as a whole, because of our lack of stress. Actually, I was watching a video recently on stress, and they were saying how the body actually needs stress. People need stress. We think that eliminating stress is the answer to all our problems, but the truth is that God designed the body to be adapted for stress. Our problem is when we can't handle the stress in a healthy way. So you train your body to take stress, like to be able to handle it well. Our body, again, it needs stress, just not the chronic stress that we're putting ourselves through and that we literally have no outlet for. For example, like, think about the stress that we have that we don't even socialize with anybody anymore. That's a stressor that there is no outlet for. At least when you think of like a physical menace, a physical thing, a physical stressor, you can face it, But in today's day and age where everything is electronic, it virtually doesn't exist. Quite literally, virtually is the only place where it exists. So, yeah, it's so true. And I'm only 3 minutes in.
Psychiatric medication is kind of terrifying.
It truly is concerning to see how many people I know in my personal life are on these medications.
To me, it's like a big, red, glaring, flashing sign that, okay, our society is sick, our culture is sick. We got some things we really need to fix here.
Yeah, totally.
That sounds great. But 6 weeks is a really long time, and it kind of sounds expensive, right?
Emily, you can't put a price on experience. Plus, there's a shortage. But I know a guy. We got plenty of these to share, huh?
Sorry, are those for your anxiety, OCD, Tourette's, or dissociative disorder? I can't keep up these days.
Those are my antidepressants. Double the dosage and all your problems just float away.
You are here. You are this embodied creature with 4,000 weeks on the planet. Your goal should be to try and feel the things that are happening to you.
Wow, okay. They just dropped something else. Okay, so good. What they just said, that's so true. How escapism can be defined by two things: that you're either trying to take a break from the things that are consuming your day, that are filling your day, or escapism can be about escaping those feelings. And I can't tell you how many times I've either seen this in myself or in friends or in just culture in general. Just seeing that this escapism, this desire to escape those feelings, the feelings of depression or loneliness. When you have insomnia, the first thing you pick up is this device right here. Because it's easy, it's accessible, and you think it gives you peace, but it doesn't. And you're only left more anxious. And I honestly feel so emotional about this right now because I'm like, how has our generation been so lied to? How have we accepted this idea of what life should look like when life is about being so much more, about embracing so much more, and we have so much potential as a culture, as a generation, we have so much to give. If only we'd put down the darn phones. If we would only allow ourselves to be a little disturbed in our life. If we'd only allow ourselves to sit with the feelings instead of medicating them and opting for an easy pass. God made us to feel even those negative feelings, because those negative feelings are signs that something's not right, that something needs to be fixed. But so many times we're satisfied with just sitting through life and watching it happen passively. And then we get to the age that we're 30, 40, 50, and then we say, what did we do with our life? I just pray that our whole generation wakes up before we're in our middle age and realize that half our life, more than half our life, has sped behind us and we did nothing with it. What do we have to show for it? Instagram pics that maybe weren't even real because we just posed for the picture and then we left? Guys, this is real. And if our generation doesn't do something about it, and I don't just mean adults doing something for us, I'm saying people in our generation, urging people in our generation to do something about it, to find the joy in life. That's why on Instagram, I'm very, very conscious about who I'm following and what they're recommending for me to do. And I try to keep very inspiring messages. People that will literally post and say, put down the phone, go outside. And guess what? That would hurt the algorithm, but they are willing to say the truth. They are willing to tell you the truth because they care more about you than they do your follow, your like. They know that this is an issue. So
you want to actually be able to feel connected to your experiences, and yet Gen Z is oddly the most connected, but also the most disconnected generation.
Escapism, when taken to an extreme, is massively debilitating because it prevents you from spending the time you should be spending educating yourself, building up your own skills, connecting with other people in the real world, and building relationships and building your network. All of the things that are important to do to become successful. If you're constantly spending this time escaping reality, that's all time that's taken away from these things.
So when I think about escapism, I think of individuals trying to kind of distance themselves from the stressful experiences they're facing day to day and find solace in whether it be daydreaming or video games, just entering a different universe, a different reality where they can forget about their problems. And because of the content that we're constantly seeing, I think young people are looking for something that isn't really real, that's unattainable.
Ultimately, reality always catches up, and you have to deal with the situation at hand.
Nick? Is there something you need to tell me?
No. Just hanging out.
I thought we were both really excited about that job. And they said it could be something that could become full-time, right? Isn't that what you said you wanted? That way you can move out and start your own life.
Emily, listen. This trip is like the trip of a lifetime. And everything here is so... It's just so stressful, okay? And it's not good for my mental health. And I think it's just good for me to go out and have a fun time.
You can't keep using your mental health as an excuse to make poor decisions. It doesn't...
Wow. Seriously? What do you know about bad decisions? Oh, that's right. You're perfect. You are just so much better than me, so that I should probably go somewhere else.
Stop. Stop. I started dating you because I saw an amazing guy.
Okay, all right.
Look at me. And I don't see you doing anything with it at all. And I want to build a future with you, but
But you just don't want me to be happy? Is that what this is?
Are you happy? Maybe it's time to change your strategy. If you want to go on this trip, that's your choice. Just don't expect me to be here when you get back.
When people try to escape reality all the time, or they try to dodge responsibility in their.
Oh my goodness. This is so good. They're doing such a lovely job of like creating a storyline that goes through all the interviews and things like that, so that you really see the impact that this is having on our generation. And I think it's just so well done. The lighting and cinematography is beautiful. The actors are really wonderful, and I'm actually surprised at how good the script is, because sometimes scripts can be a little bit cheesy when it comes to documentaries, simply because they need to give you a certain amount of information and backstory on the character so that you can understand what's going on in a very short amount of time, because you're only seeing bits and pieces of scenes, essentially. But they're doing a lovely job with this, truly.
Constantly trying to dodge accountability, those people typically don't end up happy. The most undisciplined people live the most unhappy and unfulfilled lives.
And when you neglect your problems with something like escapism, there's going to be a snowball effect that's going to turn into a much bigger issue.
And the fact that you can access a degree of satisfaction without having to really do much for it from the comfort of your couch means that it's very difficult to stop wanting more, which means that you need an ever-escalating dose to get the same trigger.
So while many individuals in my generation really are suffering from mental health issues, a lot of people are self-diagnosing. And that's coming from things that they're seeing on TikTok of people romanticizing different mental illness, including depression.
Typical human emotions and experiences, they refer to them in pathological terms. So sadness becomes depression. Worry becomes anxiety. Having a bad experience becomes trauma.
You have a very dangerous ecosystem going on here of over-pathologization leading to self-diagnosis, leading to medication, leading to self-medication, right? It's this recursive cycle.
I think that drugs are the ultimate form of escapism, and I also think they're a prime example of how extreme escapism just makes things worse.
Nick? What happened?
I found you.
Oh, thank
on
God,
your
he's
kitchen
alive.
floor.
He's okay. I was so worried. I was like, oh my word.
Doctors say that if I didn't find you when I did, what were you thinking, dude?
I was legit afraid that he was
The girl from
actually
Sweden,
dead.
when I told her I was coming, she ghosted me.
I was like, I don't usually try to watch these, but I was like, this is a reaction video, so.
Just as fake as everything
wait,
else.
I gotta. Okay.
My life is a
What
joke.
happened? Why did he do this?
And I think the reason why so many people are turning to escapism as a coping mechanism is a lack of purpose and meaning.
Human happiness, if you think about it, it's not based on just having the things you want, and it's not simply based on comfort. In fact, those things can create more individual misery if they are not backed up by the foundational pillars that help to keep somebody sane and with purpose.
Okay, they just made such a good point. Yes, so much of our generation just doesn't have purpose. Like, you ask them, what is your purpose? They look at you like you're scaring the daylights out of them. Like they're a deer in the headlights, you know? But here's the thing, if we don't know what our purpose is, if we don't, and I'm not even asking like what your personal purpose is, because that takes time. It takes time to develop. It takes time to learn. But, oh my goodness. Of course, if you don't have purpose, but we don't even know as humans what we're here for, which is sad. That's not even sad. That's tragic. That's a death of a society, because if a society doesn't have a purpose, doesn't have a plan, doesn't have a desire to keep living, why does it exist? You know? And it's a sad truth. It's a sad reality, but our generation can't keep going the way it's going. We need a wake-up call, and I'm so grateful that people make documentaries like this to wake people up.
They are not backed up by the foundational pillars that help to keep somebody sane and with purpose and meaning in their life.
Comfort is always going to be comfortable. In the immediacy, straight in front of you, it's always going to look like it's fun. You need to find something which is bigger than that, which is more important than that, which gives you more meaning and more purpose, so that you can say no to what is immediately comfortable and go after something which is long-term meaningful.
Such a good portion.
Focus on what's real. And who knows, maybe in the future we'll, yeah, I guess that's it.
The script, by the way, I just paused this. The script, by the way, is so good. Like, the fact that, and this is me because I'm picky because I'm a writer, the fact that he's like, well, someday we'll, and he just leaves it at that is brilliant. Beautiful. And the acting. Good Lord. Such good acting. I'm actually very, 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 very impressed with this. Wow. So grateful I got to watch this. Please watch this, by all means.
Bye.
Believing that you can change the person that you are, having a vision for what you want to become, how you want your friends and your community and your life to look, and then being able to make changes that move you toward it is more rewarding than social media or video games or porn or drugs are ever going to be.
Something that's really helped me is to keep this journal where I write down what kind of person I want to become. And when I stopped having this sort of victim mentality, I really took control of my own happiness and my own success, and I saw my mental health improve drastically.
Nick! Kristen!
Hey!
Dude!
Oh, it's good to see you, man.
Good to see you, bro. Oh, shoot. Oh, jeez.
Hey, man, congrats on getting your own place. Like, seriously, this is a miracle.
Yeah, it's, bro, I can't lie to you. It feels so good.
Yeah.
But hey, I wouldn't be here without you.
Listen, dude, we both know that I wouldn't be here without you. So, what's going on with Emily, man? Hey, I told you to invite her, didn't I?
This is actually so cute.
No, bro.
We're not doing this right now, are we?
I don't think she wants to see me right now.
Come on, Nick. She's still single. You think that's a coincidence?
I don't know.
Nick.
I don't know, man.
You know what that sounds like?
What?
A little bit scared. Am I right?
We'll see, okay?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, okay.
If this resonates, if you think that you're built for more, if you feel like life should be something that it isn't, why not just try?
Just by changing my perspective, I've gotten so many more opportunities and my life has changed for the better. It's kind of like the snowball effect. So you make good decisions, you'll make more good decisions. You have a good attitude and outlook on life, you will attract those same people into your life.
Life is like this choose your own adventure. You can create your character, you can go to the gym and level up your strength, you can increase your intelligence, you can boost your charisma, you can dress how you want, you can portray yourself in different ways. You can do this all in the real world.
Imagine a future for yourself that is greater than the one that you're in and believe that you could achieve it. Just for a moment, just try for a moment to imagine what that would feel like. It's there, it's within your grasp. You just need to take the first step.
It's a nice place to think.
Hey. You know, I've been trying that more lately. Thinking. How about now?
Oh my my goodness. Y'all, that was so good. Ah. Oh my word. That was such an excellent documentary. I highly recommend it. If you are between the ages of 13 and 24, you need to watch this video. I think this is life-changing. I think that this will truly help you see not just the gravity of our technologically driven world and how it's affecting us, the way that it's really changing the way that we think about ourselves, and that if we would just take a moment, a step back, if we would just move away from that virtual world, from this virtual world obsession, we would be so much better off. We would become people who could really transform the world. And I say it because I mean it. I believe that our generation has the potential and the ability to change the world. We have the technology to change the world. Now it's up to us to become people who are responsible enough to be able to do that and really become the generation that needs to act as men and women. And, you know, in Spanish we'd say ponerte los pantalones, you know, actually act like a guy, act like a man up. That would be the English equivalent. And yeah, this documentary resonated so much with me because I've found so many times the temptation of feeling this way, of, you know, self-diagnosing these things. Oh my goodness, maybe I'm traumatized, maybe I'm OCD, whatever, you know, all these things. And it is true, we do romanticize it. I'm not saying that everyone does. I do believe that these things exist. But so many times we romanticize them into thinking that, oh my goodness, look at how we're suffering and all these things. When indeed, what we most need is to get a life. Actually act as people who will take responsibility for their actions, who take responsibility for their life, who can actually think about what they can put into life instead of what life can do for them. And I know it sounds like don't think what was it? Think not what you can do, what your country can do for you, but think what you can do for your country. But seriously, if life is really about what we put into it, what we put into it is what we get out of it. And if we live our life as a life of service, as a life that is there to help other people, to make something of ourselves, to be creative in the sense that we create things in life and make life better. See, here's the thing. As an artist, as a writer, as an actress, as someone who loves film, as I create all the time. But again, it's my choice to do what I want to do. It's my choice to make opportunities for myself, because those opportunities are not going to come to me if I don't take a step and do what I need to do. Maybe that means filming, like this video. Maybe that means editing. Maybe that means writing. But if I don't take responsibility for my actions, and if I don't become a person who can step out and be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and instead watches people on this little device and thinks that that's life. Well, one, that's a sad life. But two, we become people who are complacent. We become people who are fragile. And we become people who are spineless and easily manipulated into whatever society wants us to be. And that's the truth. What stood out to me the most was, I think that point, the sadness that our culture has created for itself, the apathy that really only creates sadness. You would think that because we are practically the richest nation or the richest culture, I guess, in the world and in history, I mean, we have the most conveniences ever experienced, and yet we're not happy because life doesn't make itself beautiful or fulfilling because of complacency or the amount of laid backness that you can be. What makes us happy, what makes us fulfilled, is being able to make a difference in the world, to feel like we are putting something into the world, because that's how we were created to operate. That's what we were created to do. I think the issue that Gen Z struggles with the most would be identity and finding purpose. Because I can't tell you how many people I've talked to, and they can't tell you what their purpose is. And this is not their fault. This is not because they're bad people. I'm not saying that. And if you are watching this and you're like, I have no idea, why is this lady ranting at me? Don't worry. It took me a long time to get to that. But here's the thing. If you're not intentional about it, it's not going to find you. You have to search within yourself and see, okay, what are the things that make me passionate? What are things that make me feel alive? What are things that really give me fulfillment? And I guarantee you, you have that seed within you. You have those things that make you come alive, that lights a spark in your eyes. That when you talk about that, it's like the lights come on. Maybe it's sports. Maybe it's arts. Maybe it's cooking. Maybe it's talking. Like, legit, I love talking. Why do you think I'm here talking? Because I love talking, and that blesses other people, or hopefully you're being blessed by this. And yeah, just genuinely, if you know your purpose, you will be so happy once you realize why you were put on this earth. Oh my goodness, there's a quote by Mark Twain, was it? I just remembered this quote that it's attributed to Mark Twain, but apparently it's not really Mark Twain. But it's such a good quote. The two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. Because guess what? Each one of us has a purpose and is on this planet for a reason. And the reason that you discover why is going to be one of the most beautiful, fulfilling, heartwarming, amazing days in your life. And if it takes time to realize what it is, that's okay. In fact, I think that all of life should be a search for that. Why was I put here? Why do I live in this state or in this country or in this city? Why? Because everything has a purpose. As a writer, every detail in my stories has to do with something else. Nothing is coincidence. Everything is a tool to be used. And I believe that God goes about life as a very careful writer. And if I'm a human writer, imagine how much better God is. And so I genuinely believe that finding your purpose is, I think, the thing that Gen Z most needs. Because we can rant all day about how bad our society is with technology, how we're having very unhealthy approaches to it, and we need to fix the way that we interact with it. But that's not going to change anything unless we choose to change the way that we think about ourselves first. Because once we change the way we think about ourselves, then interacting with social media in this way is going to become beneath us. It's going to become something that we're like, why would I do that? I have so much better to do. And that's the thing. It's not about stopping social media. It's about replacing your time with better things. Because if you don't replace it, then it's just going to come back. And honestly, this topic is so important because it's a topic that everyone is going to wrestle with at some point in their life. We can't escape technology at this point. It's all around us, and it's frankly quite necessary at this point. I mean, tell me when's the last time that you could actually go out without your phone? I have to go out with my phone. That's just the way things are now at this point. So this has been my take on The Void, and overall, I would say it's a fantastic documentary. Run and watch it. It is also free on PragerU, so definitely watch it. Watch it with your teenagers. I don't think that anybody under 13 should really be watching it. It might be a little bit intense for them, but oh my word, watch this. It's so worth the watch, and I think that it will really inspire you to find more in life than our phones are telling us, because there is so much more to life than this. So much more to life. And I'm so grateful that I got to be on Prager Force and be able to react to this. I'm so grateful that they do this incredible, beautiful work. I'm so proud to be a part of this movement. And until next time, friends, continue to live, give, and repeat. And I'll see you next time.